All right, here we go. Hey, Penny.
Sorry.
And if you're going to have any background noise, you can just mute, but then when we get to you, you can unmute. Okay. Well, here we go. Our last leading ladies call. Can't believe it. I'm going to miss you girls. We'll have to have a reunion sometime in the spring. Well, you'll all be directors by then. So then you'll be on the director call each month. So we won't need a reunion, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I wanted you all to share. I had sent out in the announcements last week to be thinking about what has been the biggest takeaway for you from this series so far. So your biggest takeaway or an aha moment or what you feel like is going to help you the most moving forward in your business. And then when is your goal to promote to senior consultant and how are you going to do it and make sure that you meet that goal? Okay. So we'll start with Veronica.
Okay. I think my biggest takeaway just in a whole is I just feel more confident with approaching the recruiting aspect of our business. Where when I first started this, I didn't really know how, and I didn't really have the tools for follow-up, and I just, I would talk about it, but it wouldn't really go any further than that. So now I'm more confident in myself. I feel like I can go into my parties now, or if I'm talking to people, I know what to say. So going forward, that's really going to help. My goal for senior consultant is January 15th, and my goal for director is February 29th.
Okay, so for senior consultant, based on where you are right now, what's your plan to make sure you get there by January 15th?
I have my top 5, and I got to work it.
Okay. All right. And so for the most part, we know, after the 10th, there's not necessarily going to be a ton of parties. So we're either recruiting them and getting them parties by the 10th or recruiting them and getting them ready to go very beginning of January.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Lessa.
All right. My biggest takeaway from this whole experience has been getting to hear a little bit of pieces from all the directors themselves, what works, what doesn't, so that I can kind of play with it and make it my own so that I can strive from that. Because obviously you ladies wouldn't be in the position you are if you didn't have some of those pieces that you've now shared with us that will make us successful once implemented. And so having my binder full of all of the handouts and extra go backs too. So if I feel like I'm slipping up on something, I can refresh myself. And then my goal for senior consultant is 110 of 16 with director by 229-16. And my means of getting those are going to be more parties, recruitment, following up with those, even though they may be busts, who knows, but actually applying it a little bit better by keeping those sticky notes on file in my planner and utilizing my Friday to follow up. And then also assisting my recruits so that I can help them strive to qualify and become a great consultant and show them that the path isn't as hard as it sounds.
Awesome. And all of this while recovering from surgery. You're a rock star.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Miss Jamie Deal.
My biggest takeaway is kind of that I've had it in me all along, and just having the support and encouragement. I've really appreciated our trio conversations. I think that has been huge with Jimeline and Seneca. And then just hearing all of your ladies' tips and tricks has been great. And I love that I now have my binder ready to go to help new consultants as they join. So I think that was something that was kind of holding me back, as I didn't know how to talk to them once they joined. So I'm happy to have that in place. And my goal is to be a senior consultant by 11:30. I'm super close.
11:30 tonight? I'm just kidding.
Huh?
11:30 tonight?
No, 11:30. I wish. I'm like almost $100 away. So it's like, oh. So that's my goal. And then director by February 29th.
Right. Very cool. Jamie had her, well, tell them about your party on Friday.
It was so crazy. So the party came to me from a referral from the neighborhood I used to live in. So this was somebody that also doesn't know me. So just by word of mouth, she reached out to me and said that her sister-in-law was interested in having a party. All she wanted was the entertaining bundle. So she lives 2 hours away from me, and she asked if I knew anybody in the area, and I said yes, that would be me. So I'm happy to take that party. And so I reached out to her. We got the party scheduled, and her sales were over $1,500. So she made almost $500 on this party. So it was kind of hard to give up that $400 in commission for me. But hearing Kirsten, your example of who was it? Carol, who turned into 30,000. I'm like, well, maybe that's her for me. So
awesome. So that gave you your Pika. So now you're just waiting for your second one, $100 away, and you'll promote to senior consultant.
That's right.
Congratulations. Yay.
Thank you.
All right. Seneca.
Oh, this I labeled this as a journey for me, and the binder that I did for Leading Ladies is, watching me go through this journey and see where it's going to lead me to. So there's been so much that I've learned, but just having office hours and having organization structure on what I'm supposed to do on each given day has really helped me tremendously. I never really thought you needed office hours. It's just like, I'll work my business, but it makes sense to have office hours and have systems in place. And I love my No Lead Left Behind binder. I love it. It's the best thing ever. And just always having the mindset, when you're going to a party or doing an event, to have recruiting as your first focus, your first focus, and then booking and then selling. Selling will come eventually, but it's that, recruiting, always looking and listening for my next team member. And then senior consultant by January 10th, 2016, and director by February 29, 2016. And just utilizing the my top fives, keep, funneling women in and following up with them as well.
And you had a new recruit this week too.
Yes, I did. Yay!
Congratulations. Yay.
So I need one more Pika to get to my senior consultant, and then, so we're working on that, and then, just, following up with the leads that I currently have, so, and adding more.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yes. Oh, you're talking about, I'm sorry. Yes, I did have, that was actually my recruits, my team members, team members.
So you're going deep. Awesome.
Yeah. There you go.
Perfect. All right, Lacey.
My biggest takeaway was probably time management and just doing power hours instead of trying to do a lot of things at once, just really focusing for an hour and getting outside my comfort zone. I'd like to promote by January 1st to senior consultant, and then I'm hoping April 1st for director. And to do that, I just got to work my business, keep making my contacts, and overbook my parties, and just look for recruits at parties and stuff like that. So,
all right, awesome. And sounds like you have a good, strong list of ladies to follow up with.
Yes.
All right. Yay. Okay, Penny. Uh-oh.
Hello, sorry. I'm not smarter than my phone tonight, I'm sorry. All right, my biggest takeaway is probably that we don't all maybe have like a structured time that we can do our business, but if we make the hours that we do have set work for us, then we're going to get more out of our business. So, I mean, that was really important to me because I work crazy amount of hours and I'm always up really late, and even though my office hours sometimes are later at night, I can still get a lot done and focus on my actual business and then make my contacts during day hours when people are awake. So I kind of like that. For senior consultant, I'd like to promote by January 1st. I have my second person should be joining at the end of this month. And then director, I'm aiming for June just because my sales are kind of crud right now. So I just want to focus on doing parties and increasing my personal sales to make director.
All right.
And working.
Okay. And I want you to keep using those tools, those trackers, because that's really going to help you to be able to see kind of over time how your sales and things are doing, which will help you be able to make a good choice about when you feel ready to promote.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.
Jimeline.
Hey there. Hi. So, I think the thing, like Veronica, it's the same for me. The confidence in going into a party and knowing exactly what to say and how to do it, making sure I have those 3 seeds I'm planting throughout the party and practicing it. So it's not hard now.
Awesome.
I'm excited about using it more. My hope for senior consultant is January 30th. So I had to party. And so I get to know more people. So I can ask more. So that, and then the April 1st, of course, is that deadline, and really want to be able to meet that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Jimeline had someone say yes.
Yes, but she hasn't done it yet. So
It's hard this week with Thanksgiving, but definitely keep on her, because sometimes your excitement can go cold.
yes,
So we want to okay, remember we said yes, let's get on the computer and do this.
exactly. So that is my intentions, to be purposeful in following up with her.
Okay, awesome. Yay. Well, I know I am so proud of all of you, and you guys we've said many times as directors that this is definitely one of our strongest groups that has gone through Leading Ladies as a whole. And each of you, every single week, working hard, staying committed. We have never had an entire group stick it out the whole 6 weeks. There's usually at least 1 or 2 that drop out along the way, and you guys all stuck it out the entire way. You were committed, you fulfilled all of the parts of the training. And so that right there, to me, that's part of why it is a little bit more stringent of a training, and why there is so much packed in. Not that it's a test, but it's kind of just, it's a good training ground to see, are you ready to take on that responsibility of director? Are you ready to meet deadlines? Are you ready to have minimums? And this is a great training ground for that. And you guys have done that. So congratulations. Do any of the other directors have any thoughts or anything that they want to share with the girls before we kind of jump into our last topic that you've observed, or thoughts on the training? I'm putting them on the spot. I think that's Jen. Jen, you're frozen. I don't know if you can hear us. Okay, Jen, click in later and we'll have you share, because for whatever reason we can't hear you. Okay, anybody else? All right, well, we are going to jump in with our last topic, hostess coaching. And it's always, I tried to figure out if there's a way for us to reconnect, but it's going to be too hard with December coming up. But it's always kind of a bummer to have our last week of training and then we don't get to connect again. You guys will be working and submitting your assignments next week, so we'll definitely connect through email and on the Facebook page. So this will be our last time seeing each other, though. So we'll make the most of tonight. Okay, so we're going to jump in with hostess coaching. There's a lot to cover. I feel like hostess coaching, you guys can let me know if you agree with me, it's kind of the unsung hero of our business. You know, we talk a lot about book, sell, recruit, but the bookings really mean nothing if we don't hostess coach. Would you agree? You know, that's really what's going to make that booking successful. And so I feel like it kind of doesn't get as much credit as it needs in our business, but it's a huge part. And when you get the hostess coaching down, it really is going to transform your business, because of course you're going to want to keep doing, you know, as many parties as you can for what meets your goal, but if your parties are $200, you're going to have to do a lot more parties to meet your number, as opposed to hitting at least that $600 average with your parties. Melissa, would you share, I think you had shared, I can't remember if it was on a tip or not, but how, when you really instituted hostess coaching, how that kind of transformed your party average?
Yeah, I am. I mean, like literally, I listened to one of the 31-minute calls, and I'm not sure if it's still there or not, but I basically made up my hostess checklist according to the phone call. And that hostess checklist you can find on Team Tracy's files. But I just started doing that, where it was really just, I don't think I really did any hostess coaching before that. And so my average party was probably 200. And literally as soon as I started doing that, I had probably 5 or 6 parties. Well, really even now, I mean, 600, 700 average. But I mean, it went from 200 to 600 right away and stayed at 600 every party. So it's a matter of, it was like contacting, and check out that checklist, because that really, just following that format. I probably don't do it verbatim now, but I really just make sure that my hostess knows, let's get 10 to 15 people at your party. You need to invite face-to-face is my biggest thing right now, is everyone you run into this week, I want to talk and invite. And that's really been working, where I haven't been sending out invites as much because my hostesses have not wanted to give me addresses. But when I really, really push the invite face-to-face, everyone that you're talking to, make them feel good, make them feel wanted and want to be at your party. I'm getting the $700, $800 parties without sending any invites out. So you really want to, I mean, you still want to offer it and, try to do it, but really following that list is a good, helpful thing.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Well, Jen, are you ready? Do you want us to do something else for a minute? Okay. Jen's going to jump in with us right away and is going to walk us through the hostess coaching worksheet. So you should have that worksheet. It's a fill in the blank document if you want to get that out. So she's going to walk you through it, but she'll go kind of quickly since you have a lot of it in front of you. So we can always copy and paste this to you later if you don't quite catch all the blanks. But she's going to walk you through this, and then any other thoughts she has on this topic. So take it away, Jen. And then if you wanted to share what you were going to share first,
okay,
feel free.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think it was just because I was driving, so that's why.
Okay.
No, I was just going to say that it's really exciting from a director's perspective when everybody finishes a training. I've never once had everybody that joined a training finish it. And I think it's amazing. I definitely give credit to the fact that we're doing on video. I think that's huge. I think that really gives a lot of accountability for us. So I just want to say that it's really exciting. Yeah. Okay, so on to the worksheet. Okay, are we ready? Okay, so host coaching for a successful party. The key to your success is having a successful party. The key to having a successful party is having good attendance. And the key to having good attendance is hostess coaching. Whatever term you prefer, hostess coaching or partnering with your hostess, the most important thing is, like Nike says, just do it. A party with bookings is a party a party worth booking is a party worth coaching. I hear that all the time from all kinds of leaders everywhere, and it's awesome. We can't just hand the catalogs and other things to our hostesses and say, all right, there you go, I'll see you at the party. We've talked before about taking the you out of the picture, and once again, coaching your hostess is not about you, it's all about her, or the hostess. What's in it for her? Don't bother with percentages. For example, instead of saying, you'll get 10% off all your sales and free products, use an actual number. Yeah, that throws them off. They don't speak our language all the time, so that throws them off. Give them a dollar amount, such as you can get $100 or more in free products. And end that sentence by saying, and here's how. If she doesn't know how she can earn that $100 in free products, and she doesn't know what to do, and you don't tell her, you both are in for a very disappointing party. You'll find that by telling her an actual dollar amount instead of percentages can make a huge world of difference. If you haven't done that, start doing it now and see what a difference that makes. Am I doing the second page also, Kirsten? I'm sorry.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. As 31 consultants, we are professional business women with with great products to offer. But we often forget that it's not only products we have to offer, but a service, personal service. It is so important for us to provide personal service, not only to our customers, but to our hostesses as well. Might even be bigger.
Can I stop you really quick on that?
Yes.
I think especially right now for the holidays, that personal service could be huge in your business because people are busy. People have a lot going on. And when there's somebody that is personally helping them take care of their gifts and making it easy, this is a great time to really offer that. Whether you want to offer free gift wrapping, have them sent to you, whatever that might be. I have been telling my ladies a lot at the parties, take their, to give me their wish list. And if they want to give me their husband's phone number or email, I'll be happy to let them know. And I've had 2 or 3 people do that, and their husbands have ordered from me, and they're like, "Thank you. I had no idea what to get her." And I'm gift wrapping it and dropping it by their house for them. So, think about how you can offer that personal service, especially right now with the holidays, because that's a great time to do that. Sorry, Jen. I just wanted to say that real quick.
No, I totally agree. It's definitely what sets us apart from everybody else. Are we on if you are not doing this already?
Yes.
That's distracting. Okay. If you are not doing this already, I encourage you to do so. Starting now, and you and your hostess will be very pleasantly surprised at how her party sales will increase, and your hostess will love getting even more hostess rewards. She'll want to rebook with you again and again, and so will her friends. When you are talking with your hostess, your excitement and passion will be contagious. So let's come through. If you're not excited, she won't be either. Hostess coaching begins when someone says yes to booking a party with you. Hostess coaching is crucial to a successful party, yet it's something that many consultants struggle with because they don't want to seem pushy. So to prevent any surprises and or feelings of being pushy, with your hostess, tell her right up front during the initial hostess coach conversation how many times you'll be contacting her and tell her why. So important. You are her business partner. You want her to get lots of free products. You want to make this fun and easy for her, etc. Here's a great script you can use. Betty, one of the services I provide as your personal consultant is my reminder service. I know how many busy women are. We wear many hats, and some days it seems like we go nonstop. There's no reason for you to have to remember dates. So Betty, how do you prefer we communicate during this time? Do you prefer phone calls, email, text messaging, Facebook? Hosting parties is fun, and there's absolutely no reason for you to feel any kind of stress. So important. Let her know that you are her partner in this, and you want her to have the most successful party she can, because you want her to get lots of free products. When you tell her this right up front, and you tell her ask her what method of follow-up she prefers, she will not be surprised when she hears from you, nor will she feel pressured. And this will take a ton of the pressure off of you and her. A postcard in the mail as a backup also serves as an added reminder and a great personal service. Take just a
Awesome.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah. Anything else that you wanted to add on to what you had shared before we move on, Jen?
No, I just think in regards to hostess coaching, it's pretty much my favorite subject when it comes to our 31 business. And I can't imagine not. Like, you hear the stories of the consultants from, hopefully all other companies, not from 31, but, giving a packet to the hostess, and then you never hear from them again until it's the day of the party. And that freaks me out, that could even happen. So it's super important. And I absolutely know that that is the number one reason that my party sales, like my party average, I guess is high, is because I really coach them. And I've never had someone say, or have heard, down the grapevine that it's pushy.
Awesome. And I think part of that is, like it says in the handout, is if you let them know up front. And that's why I'm so big about trying to meet face to face with my hostesses if I can, if not on the phone. But it just kind of establishes that professionalism, and they can see that this is serious to you. You know, you're not just dropping off the packet on their front door and saying, hey, call me when you get it. You know, you're serious. You're setting up a time, 15 to 20 minutes to go over it with them. And you're letting them know, okay, this is how it's going to go for the next 3 weeks. You know, is there anything else that you would like to add to that? But when they know up front kind of the process, they're fine with it. In fact, they love it. And really, I tell them my job is to help you get the most free products I can. And so this is the procedure and the way that I do inviting to make that happen. And when they know that and they know the heart behind it, they're fine. They know it's not about me trying to, you know, text them 5 times every single day. I'm not going to do that. But they know what I am going to do, and they know why I'm going to do it. And honestly, they talked about at conference that really every hostess, for the most part, should either rebook or should join. Think about that. Every single one of your hostesses should either rebook with you for the next season or the new catalog, or they should join your team. Well, the main reason, the main vehicle or way that that's going to happen is based on your hostess coaching. Okay? If they don't have a good party, do you think they're going to have another party with you? Probably not. Do you think they're going to join your team? Probably not. So that hostess coaching, I mean, I would venture to say is a huge reason why so many of our hostesses, I mean, I'm sure, Jamie, that is probably a big reason why Paula joined, because you had hostess coached her well. With our hostesses, when they join, it's typically because they had a great hostess coaching experience and they had a good party and they want to do it. So hostess coaching is kind of an indirect, even though we don't necessarily talk about it in that way, it's a huge recruiting seed. If you hostess coach well, that's going to help you recruit. And our hostesses, 1 in 8 will say yes with the general public. If you ask 8 people, 1 in 8 will say yes to joining. Hostesses, it's 1 in 4. 1 in 4. For every 4 of your hostesses, 1 should join. If you're offering it to each of them and you're hostess coaching each of them well. So, you know, I really want you to remember that. Hostess coaching is going to help you recruit, for sure. Okay? It's also going to help you have great PV. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the guest list. Samantha was going to cover that tonight, but her father-in-law went to the hospital today, so you can be praying for her. I think, Melissa, do you know any more? I think he's okay, but they're up at the hospital with him.
Yeah, they're doing tests. They don't know exactly what's going on. Something with his lungs. They went on a trip and he started shaking, doing different things. So okay. He's admitted for overnight.
Okay, so you can be praying for him for sure. So we're going to cover that for her. So if you want to get out that guest list handout. Now this is up to you. I mean, this is going to be definitely maybe a little bit of an old school way of how people used to do hostess coaching. So you're going to get some of your hostesses, probably especially the 25 to 35-year-olds that are like, I don't even know addresses. Address, what? So, but I mean, think about yourself when you go to get the mail. How fun is it to get an invitation in the mail? A personal invitation, not a bill, not a flyer, not a sale, but a personal invitation to something. I love it. I always that's the first thing I look for is something that's handwritten and not typed. And I got nothing, and I got nothing. But when you do that, I love that. And usually they can stick it on their fridge. I know I do that. So they see it all the time. It's a constant reminder. So invitations, if you can mail them, can be huge. I think it was Holly, tell me if it was you, that does the VIP customers or the VIP guests that you send a mini to. Can you share with us about that real quick? Sorry,
I've got screaming kids. So, yeah, I have, when I meet with my hostess for the first meeting, I have tucked inside her packet a self-addressed stamped envelope and a guest list. And so I give her 24 to 48 hours to fill that out. And next to the 5 to 6 people that she would consider her VIPs, I have her put a star so that I can send those ladies a mini catalog. And then everyone else I just send the postcard to. But that way, those ladies, I feel like sometimes if they can see a lot of the product through a mini catalog, it's going to entice them to come to the party. because they've already started making their own wish lists. So that's something that I've been doing.
Awesome. So yes, whether you're going to mail them the postcard, whether you want to print out the flyers, do you know that on the how to market pages, there's a printable, not edible. That's hard to say, editable flyer. I know a lot of teachers, a lot of my hostesses that are teachers will ask me for those so that they can put one in each of the teachers' boxes. But that's a great thing that you can do as well, is you can send the flyers, you can send the mini catalogs, you can send the postcards, you can make up your own postcards. But if you're able to add mailing to your different modes of invitations, it's going to make a big difference. And what I'll tell my hostesses as well is, okay, first of all, think about how fun it is to get something in the mail. But, if it's just too much to mail, whether you want to pay that cost or you have them, I used to do it a lot more. Honestly, I just don't have time. I know that sounds terrible, but to address the envelopes, if I had an in-town assistant, I would do it, but I don't. My mom lives in Colorado, but but if you can do that, great. If not, if they can do that and you can encourage them. But what I'll say is, even if you don't mail, or even if you mail some, but you have extra, keep them in your purse. And as you see people, that's a great way to bring up the party as a reminder and say, here, let me give this to you so you can stick it on your fridge as a reminder for my party. But I will definitely always encourage my hostesses at the minimum to do that, if not kind of adding that to mailing. But that's a great way for them as they're out and about to have those postcards ready to hand out as a reminder. Okay? So with the guest list, you definitely, I know a lot of people will say, you're going to get a little goodie from me, or maybe an extra, $10 in free credit, or whatever it is you might want to add if they get that guest list back to you. So you can decide if that's something you want to try. I would definitely experiment with it. You're not going to get it from everybody, but if you do, that can make a big difference. And so if you're struggling right now with getting a good attendance at your parties, I would definitely say that this is something you want to try. Okay, for sure. And what I'll say when I was doing the postcards before too, is I would say, if you bring the postcard with you to the party, you're going to get entered into an extra drawing. So it's another way to have them want to keep track of that postcard and probably put it on their fridge if they're going to come, because they know if they bring it, they're going to be entered into an extra drawing. So I definitely want you to think about how you can utilize the postcards. You can get them really cheap on Business Supply, a pack of 120. So I definitely keep stacked up on those. Okay. Melissa is going to share with us about theme party ideas. If you want to grab out that handout.
And also, I did say I haven't been mailing any out, but I always give my hostess 15 to 20 mini catalogs, and then I'll put all the party information on the label and then have them pass that out. So her guests are getting something from me as far as an invitation. And with the talked about with the mini catalogs, I'll pay that. For me, sometimes I will pay more money for convenience. So for me, it's easier to have a label on a mini catalog than it is to write out or print out postcards. So I would rather just mail out a bunch of postcards and put them in an envelope and or put a label on a bunch of mini catalogs and put it in an envelope and send it, whatever. It's easy. I just get it out, or just send them all to the hostess, have her hand them out. So I tend to have my hostess hand out mini catalogs more than postcards, and that does, at least 15 to 20 she's handing out. So
really quick, Melissa, sorry. I was going to say too, along with that, like what Holly was saying with the VIPs, I've just started doing this, but I really like it, is especially if you're going to do like the Death by Chocolate game or something like that at your party, I will ask my hostess and say, okay, if you feel comfortable, will you give me the phone numbers of your 10 VIPs that you, like, it just would not be a party without them. When you think about having a party, they're there, and it would just not be a party without them. And we're going to do the Death by Chocolate. So if you'll call the rest of the guests, I'm going to call these 10, and I want to let them know that, they are a VIP, and that, let's say the hostess is Denise, and Denise said it just would not be a party without you. So we would love for you to come and make sure you bring a chocolate bar. So I just kind of do that reminder for her for like if I'm doing the Death by Chocolate or whatever it might be, but also to let her know, you are one of Denise's VIP guests. She would love to have you there. It's not going to be a party without her. And it's a way for me to make sure if she doesn't do the phone calls, at least the phone calls are going to those 10 VIPs. And they loved it. I mean, I would say 6 of the 10 I left voicemails, but they came to the party and they were like, and they brought their chocolate bar, so I know they got it. But I definitely think that can make a big difference, that personal reach out. So that's something else you can try. Okay, sorry, Melissa.
No. Okay, so theme party ideas. And literally today I was kind of catching this on the director's call. There was a super fun director talking, and she was just like, you know what? I'll wear a prom dress to a party if if it's going to help make the party more fun. And then someone's like, oh, I would love to see you in a 1980s prom dress. And she's like, okay, book a party and we'll do it. So like, just the fun aspect of it. Now, I probably won't be in a prom dress at a party necessarily. That's not me. So you want to be authentic to you, but try to like find maybe like a step up of a step outside of your comfort zone, like one step, and try to make it one step more fun than what you would typically feel comfortable doing, just to get outside your comfort zone a little bit and really try to like offer a fun way for them, because we really do right now, people are busy and they're going to say no more often than yes. And so we want to offer something a little different for people. I know for January, and I kind of mentioned this before, people are like, I don't, like they would do my purse game and get this party and be kind of upset that they were doing a party. And so in order to make it a fun thing for them, I had to come up with like a good theme for them. So, one of them, and this is on your sheet, the theme party ideas are on there, an old bag party. And so everybody bring an old bag, and then we're going to donate that to a local organization. And then you'll receive 15% off a new purse. Another thing I was talking to Samantha today about was, maybe doing maybe turning it into a theme for a fundraiser. So every guest brings items to put into a cinch sack to be donated to a foster care center. Or, and then they all buy a cinch sack at the party, plus whatever then items they want to order. So something like you want to almost offer something in addition to shopping to make it a fun night. But then go back to like the fun themes, like the ugly sweater party. We've seen on Facebook a lot, the socks party, kind of do a sock exchange kind of thing. An auction party. Bingo parties have become a big thing. And you can find on Facebook lots of ways to do that. I have done just as a party game, a bingo game, and they would just kind of win prizes, whoever. I did like dollar prizes from Target. So that was kind of a fun thing. Potluck party. I did a cookie exchange party recently too, where everybody brought a recipe for their favorite cookie. And then that just kind of adds, more of a holiday feel. And then a big favorite is the wine tasting party. And I know I had a wine tasting party last year, and I felt like it was a dud. So, again, I'm more of like a straight shooter. So doing games and themes and different things is not necessarily in my cup of tea. So I was like, well, I want to I was doing my own personal party, and I was like, I'm just going to try to make it more fun. So everybody brings a bottle of wine. And we covered up the labels and did like a blind tasting, and then everybody voted. We talked about it and just why we like different ones. And so everybody really got a good sense of what wines they do like and don't like, which was a fun thing. Well, one of the guests at my party had such a fun time. She now booked, so then I have a girl that joined. Now she booked a party with this new girl, which is great because that's fine. I'm good with that. They're good friends. And she specifically booked a party to do the wine tasting that we did a year ago. And which was great because I thought it was a flop. I thought I did horrible. I kind of fumbled my way through the party. Like I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like, okay, everybody bring wine and we'll taste it. And like, I didn't even have a presentation. Like I felt like it was a total flop, but yet here we go. And that girl just got Start Swell too because she had that party. So, you just never, so just go with it, run with it, just have fun with it, let your personality shine through with it, and don't worry about the logistics or, don't stress over it. Just try to figure out what you're doing and then let it go. If it doesn't seem to flow the way you think it will, just keep having fun. Just try to I always go back to building that relationship. So forget the wine. I'm going to start talking to you about who you are and why you're here and what you're doing for the holidays. So just have fun with the theme parties and, try to really offer it though when you're talking to them. Like, hey, I could see you doing X, Y, or Z. And I know and I've never done this, but Kirsten, you have your red stamp invites sitting out at checkout to kind of show them, hey, when they book a party, look at all these different fun things. I haven't gotten that organized yet, but I want to be to do that. But there is some great, I think on Team Tracy's Treasures files, there are some different there's other books, there's other files with theme parties in addition to what you have in front of you. So.
Awesome. Yes, I would definitely say that has been a big thing for me. I just made them on red stamp and then printed them off so that I had, actual hard copy. But, whatever kind of your most popular kind of parties are. And usually I'll have 2 that are more of an in-home party and then 2 that are on the go. So depending. And then, if I kind of have them just laying out there at checkout, wherever I'm doing checkout, I'll say, first, of course, I always offer the opportunity. And then when I move on to booking, then I'll say, all right, and if you play the purse game, the people that have already pretty much are going to book a party. If you didn't do the purse game and you're talking to each person, then you're going to say, okay, I know you're up for a great time. Which of these parties, these are 4 of my most fun parties. Which one do you think would best fit you and your guests? And of course, if none of those work, we can talk about other things. But a lot of times people would love to do something fun, but they don't want to be creative on the spot, or they don't have time to think about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. So make it simple for them. So, wine and chocolate night, you could do, mugs and muffins is a fun one for a Saturday brunch. I always will I have one that's pick your favorite restaurant and get your girls together for a fun dinner. So they can pick their favorite restaurant. We'll all come there for dinner. So whatever it is that have been your most kind of successful parties or themes, so that they already can see, basically they already see their invitation. They're just going to put their name and date on it. And it makes it easy for them, and it makes it easier to direct them towards a theme party. And even calling it, one of my new girls, she just had her launch party in Indiana, and we called it Bags and Bagels. She had a Bags and Bagels party. It was a Saturday brunch. Well, how much more fun does that sound than Doris's 31 launch party? It's the same thing, but Bags and Bagels on a Saturday morning sounds more fun, right? So sometimes it's just a matter of semantics, but really when you can direct them and focus on that theme, and a lot of times they probably are up for it, but they're not going to come up with it on their own. It's going to make a big difference. And just one side note with hostess coaching, of course, that's our topic tonight. And of course, our goal, I don't know if you know this, but our goal is, with 31, is 10 guests at the party. Okay, that's what home office kind of always uses as their key performance indicators, KPIs, when we're putting in, when they're kind of analyzing our parties. The goal is 10 guests at the party, because the average guest spend is around $60. Most people are going to spend the $35 to get whatever's on special. So our average guest spends around $60. So that's where we want to have around 10 to have a $600 party. Our average guest spend has actually been going up to 70 or 80. So 60 is a little bit conservative, but with 10 guests there, that's going conservatively, that's going to give you a $600 party. So that's why our goal is 10 guests at the party. Well, we know in order to get 10, on average, 25% of those you invite will come. So that means minimum you're inviting 40 people. So if you already are getting a guest list of 20, you're probably not going to get 10 people there. So that's just a good guideline that minimum you need to be inviting minimum 40 people. To get to 10, of course, even more is better. However, you're going to have those parties that you're not going to have 10, or you're going to have a lot of cancellations the day of the party, and you're going to have a small party. I have never canceled a party. Only one time has a hostess canceled it, and of course I can't make her have the party. But even if they're no one's coming, or one person's coming, or two, I'm great, we're still going to do it. I'm still going to go because most of the time at least 2 or 3 people come. That gives me more personal one-on-one time to talk to them about booking and recruiting. And sometimes those are my best parties, honestly, because I'm getting that personal time. And also, just like Melissa was talking about, you never know when you think a party is a dud, what comes out of it down the road. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times parties of 2 or 3 people that maybe on the outside, I'd get home and Darren's like, what? $200 and I was here all night with the kids, what? But, you never know what comes of that later. I mean, I can't tell you how many times somebody's joined or that person's referred me to someone who's joined or just someone's booked a party. I mean, it's crazy when you really backtrack through your parties and see what really came of them a year later, just like Melissa was talking about. So make the most of them. I've had a couple parties where nobody has showed. Guess what the hostess and I did? First of all, I affirmed her and let her know I was so excited to spend the evening with her. And then I said, okay, let's get out your guest list. We're going to text and make calls, and we're going to get you a party by the end of tonight. And I've never left a party when I've done that without at least $200 in orders. They're small. They're not going to be our average parties. But my job is to help work with her, and I'm going to do everything I can sitting across that kitchen table with her by ourselves to do that if nobody else comes. So just Jimeline, I know you just had a party that was smaller than you thought. Can you share about that? Because that's where your recruit came from.
It was, and you and I had this very conversation on Wednesday before my party that don't cancel those parties as much as I wanted to because it was, Friday night and we could have been somewhere else, but stuck with it. And my hostess, I really got to know her. She was so gracious. And it wasn't her. It was one of the few gals that came. And had great conversation with her and got to know her and her family and her needs. And I wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. This is great.
Awesome. So of course we know what our goal is, but sometimes when things happen, roll with it because you don't know what's going to come of it for sure. Okay. Lots more on theme party ideas. I can't stress them enough. If you haven't tried one, try one. It really is fun and people are more apt to say yes. And you're more apt to get bookings if people are having fun at a party. Okay. A couple of other tools I'm not going to really talk about, but that you had handouts. And a lot of these were older flyers. So you can get all the updated ones on TOT or on the file section of our page. But a hostess flyer, the hostess flyer, of course, that is something you can order from Business Supply. That's what I always go over when I meet initially with my hostesses is that 40 guests in 4 minutes. So that literally they are not leaving without a minimum of 40 people's names for invitations. There's a hostess instructional letter that you can look there if you put in your hostess packets that you can type up something similar. There's a sample letter. Phyllis, who created this training, she includes like a personal letter, a little bit about herself and her story. I know for me, most of my parties now are with people I don't know. They don't know me. So that's kind of a nice way for them to get to know a little bit of my backstory with my picture. That's something that you could do as well. So you can, and of course your hostess packets, I'm sure that you all have figured out, what kind of works for you as far as a hostess packet. It definitely is going to help you for them to have what they need as they're doing their party. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the hostess coaching procedure. So what I thought I would do, there's a handout that you have on the hostess coaching card, and we used to sell these on Business Supply. Does anybody know if we still do? I kind of just use something different. I've kind of created my own. I mean, it's a basic kind of thing, but does anybody know if those are on there? I don't think they are. Okay, so if this is something you really like, you could create your own or you could photocopy it. But the hostess coaching card, kind of helps you to keep track of your hostess coaching. So you might have another tracker. The hostess coaching checklist I think that's why, because what we use now most often is the hostess coaching checklist. Who has used the hostess coaching checklist on 31 Today? Raise your hand. Okay. I need to see everybody's hand raised the next time we're on here because that is a great tool. It's just, Seneca, you're going to love it. It's just like your No Lead Left Behind. It's going to give you, there it is. It's going to give you something to check off and to be able to make sure you're not missing any steps. And it's giving you a good method to follow. Of course, you can take out or add to it as fits your personality, but that's a great starting place. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of go through with you my hostess coaching procedure really quickly so that you can kind of see kind of how I do it. So basically what I'll do is I'll book the party at the party. And of course, that's the goal. So pretty much I am giving them a hostess flyer at the party, or no, I'm sorry. I give them I give them the recruiting information to take home, and then with my calendar, I will have. Sorry, my son is calling from the top of the stairs. Let me get my mom really quick. Jen, will you share? Oh, can you help? Okay. Mimi to the rescue. Thank you. Okay. So what I will do is I will give them their recruiting information at the party, and then I will set up a time. I'll say, I'm going to call, or if we can set up a time, but if not, if there's kind of crazy and there's a lot of people, then I'll say, okay, I'm going to give you a call tomorrow, and we're going to set up a time in the next week that I can meet with you at a Starbucks near you and go over our hostess packet in detail, and we'll get the invitations going. Does that sound good? And most of the time they're like, yes. Okay, so this is just me personally. Unless I'm more than like an hour away for a party, I don't give them the packet at the party. Okay, because I basically want to kind of hold it hostage so that they'll meet with me in person. Because if I give it to them, they won't typically meet with me. So, I mean, if they're more than an hour away, usually we'll meet like halfway. That's what I've done a lot of times. But if they're more than an hour away, I mean, I'll leave it with them and then we'll connect on the phone. So that's what I'll do to kind of start. So then that usually within the day or two, because remember, leads go cold fast. Okay. So I will call the next day typically to set up, in the next couple of days when we're going to meet. And, if it just doesn't work, of course I'll go to their house as well. But sometimes, if their kids are running around or things are crazy, it's just easier to have 15 or 20 minutes undistracted, Starbucks, Panera, whatever. So that's what I try to do. So I will, when I meet with them for the first meeting, that one is basically where I will say, okay, so tell me a little bit about what you envision for your party. When you think about having a party, what sounds fun to you? So if we haven't agreed on a theme yet or an idea, I can kind of get a better idea there. If we did kind of talk about a theme at the party and she picked a red stamp I had, then I'll say, all right, let's talk about your margarita party. How are we going to do it? What's your idea? What's your vision? So that we can kind of talk about. So before I even dive in, I'm kind of seeing her personality and what she's wanting. Okay. Then the main thing I talk about with her is, okay, what do you most have your eye on? So I'm hitting on wish list, because the more motivated she is to get free product, the more she's going to work her party. Okay. So we kind of hit on that. Then I pull out the hostess flyer and I'll say, all right, here's the deal. In the past 4 years, I have found I definitely get the highest attendance, which is my goal at your party, because my job is to help you get all those things you just talked about for free. Okay. So I definitely have the best attendance when I do my invitations in 4 different ways. And I know you might think some of it's redundant and some of the people are going to get hit in all 4 ways, but trust me, reminders help and it's going to be a good thing. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to send you a text invite. They don't know what red stamp is. Don't say red stamp. They're like, what? I'm going to send you a text invite either tonight or tomorrow with a save the date. Okay, and you're going to text that out to everyone, all your contacts. Basically, it's going to be a save the date so that we can get the word out ASAP. And people typically will see their text right away. Okay. Second thing we're going to do is I'm going to set up a Facebook event for you. If we're not Facebook friends, I'm going to friend her on Facebook. Okay. I'm going to set up a Facebook event for you. And once I get it all set up and I put the cover photo, I put in the details, I put in her party information, I post usually at least 5 or 6 posts with some ideas so that when people are first RSVPing, there's something on the page. It's not just blank when they first get to it. And then once I kind of get it all set up, I'll add her as a host. Okay. And then I'll let her know, once I add you as a host, all you're going to do is click on join, and then you're going to click on invite your friends and invite anybody and everybody. And this is a great place to really focus on people out of town, because they can order online, and it's a great way for me to be able to communicate and interact with them. Okay, so that's our Facebook. And I will mention, we do not rely just on Facebook, because think about how many parties you've probably been invited to just in the past week on Facebook. Okay, we get notifications all the time. So we're not going to rely on that, but we're going to utilize it as a tool. The third way, you're going to work, I don't ask, I say it nicely, but I assume that this is what they're going to do. You're going to work over the next 3 to 4 days to gather up all your emails, okay? And then you're going to send those to me. We have a great invitation that's all set up, 31 branded, with a link to your party online and the specials that I can send through my website for you. An exclusive invitation with all of the information for your party and links. So if you'll send me those emails in the next 3 to 4 days, I'm going to send that out for you. Okay, and then the last way, the fourth way that we're going to do the invitations is the postcards. And we've already talked a little bit about that, but I'll tell her, I'm going to talk about mailing, I'm going to talk about handing out whatever she doesn't mail, and that really is probably the most important piece because that's that personal invitation. So I'll tell her, with those 4 ways of inviting, you're going to hit everybody's mode of communication. Okay, and so we're going to utilize all 4, and I'm going to do as much of that for you as I can. Does that sound good? And usually she says yes. I'm not asking her if she wants to do it. I'm basically saying, this is how we're going to do it. Does that make sense? That also lets her see that professionalism and that you've got this standard that you do every party, that this is just what you do because you know how to be successful. This is how you have a successful party. That's what they want from you. They're looking for you to be that confident, successful consultant for them. Okay? And then the last thing I will say is, all right, here's your job. Do you see how many order forms you have in the back of your packet? Okay, and I'll count. And usually I put 5. I don't want to make it too overwhelming because I want them to do it. So I used to put 8 or 9 and I'm like, that's too many. So I put 5. And I say, all right, you've got 5. Here's your job. And I know you can do it. I want you, as you're inviting people, people that are not able to make it to the party that tell you they'd love to come, but they're not able to come, or people that live out of town, your job is going to be to find 5 people that aren't going to be able to come to the party to get an order from them. So make sure, I want you getting those catalogs circulating around your work, around your child's school, around your friends and they come over for Bible study, whatever it is that you're circulating those catalogs. And if you can get 5 orders before your party, most likely you're going to already be at a party. For us is $200. With 5 orders, you're pretty much going to be at a party before your party. So I'll talk about that a lot. We want a party before your party. Okay? $200 in outside orders before a party even starts. Wouldn't that raise your PV average? Yeah. And think about that. If we're inviting 40 people and only 10 show up, how many people are getting invited that aren't going to be able to come? 30. You're only looking for 5 of those 30. You can do that. Okay? So I'll kind of set her up with that, let her know the special so that she can share it. And then the last thing I'll say is, all right, I'm going to contact you in 3 to 4 days and make sure that if I haven't heard from you yet, get those emails from you. And I'll also send the red stamp to you tomorrow so that you can send that out. And then that's it. Okay, so that's what I cover on the first one. So that's the big one. That's the one where if she's a little bit nervous about invitations when I'm talking about that, I'll do that 40 guests in 4 minutes with her as well, because that definitely helps her makes her feel more confident before she leaves. So then the next thing, of course, I send her the red stamp and then I follow up a couple days later to get the emails. Then I usually will contact her about a week after that meeting. How's it going? Where are we at with our 5 outside orders? Do you need any more postcards? I'll kind of just do a check-in to see where she's at. And typically, I'll ask her when we meet in person, how would you prefer to communicate? Is text good for you? Facebook, email, phone? What do you prefer? And then whatever way she prefers, that's pretty much how I contact her until the party. So meeting in person or over the phone is really just for my first contact. Okay, so if she's texting, she prefers texting, that's pretty much what we're going to do the rest of the time. Then a week before the party, and usually I end up becoming friends with my hostesses, and so I'm doing this more often. So this is kind of a minimum. I do 4 contacts before the party, but usually ends up being like 10 or 12 because she's like, how do I do shipping? Or I'm getting an outside order, and there's usually more questions, but it's a minimum of 4 contacts. So then the third contact is a week before the party. All right. Where are we at with our RSVPs? Remember, our goal's 10. Okay, we're at 8. All right, let's think about who else can we think about that we can invite for your party? Have we talked about bringing friends? We're kind of thinking through where are we at? What do we need to do to get to our goal? And then the last contact is the day before her party. I will send her a red stamp. I send another red stamp the day before. That is basically a final reminder red stamp for her to send out. Okay, so that's like she's going to do 2 red stamps per party, a save the date and then that final reminder the day before the party. And she can either send it the day before or the day of, whichever she thinks is better. That's also where I will mention, all right, we're going to do this fun game, Death by Chocolate. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want you to be in on the surprise as well, but you're going to contact all your guests, especially your RSVPs, but anybody else that you haven't heard from yet. And that's going to be a great way to remind them about the party, but also for them to bring a chocolate bar. And then that's also when I confirm with her what time I'm going to show up, and so that she's ready for me the next day. So that's basically a quick overview of my hostess coaching procedure. Typically by then we become friends and we're texting more often about things, but it's that minimum of those 4 contacts. Okay. I know that was kind of fast, but I hope that kind of helps. I'm sure most of you are doing many of that, but it's just sometimes it's helpful to hear how somebody does their procedure so that you can think through how you want to do yours and what works for you. There are a ton of additional documents or handouts that we gave you on games. I'm trying to see what all they were. Yeah, there's a hostess tic-tac-toe, a gift-giving list, a hostess checklist to success, hot dates. So lots of different things there for you to go through. I knew we would not even make it to the customer care section of this training, which does not mean it's not important. So I will send you the training for that, for all the customer care information, but really wanted to hit on hostess coaching hard, with it being our last one, because like I said, I feel like it really is the unsung hero of our business. And if we can hostess coach well, we're going to book more parties and we're going to recruit. So it kind of is that linchpin that we don't always think about. Directors, do you have any other tips or anything else to add with hostess coaching? Okay, then the last thing I want to hit on before we open it up to Q&A is Director's Retreat. We want you there. Watch my lips. We want you there. Okay, so here's what that means. Senior consultant by January 10th. For some of you, you're a party away. For others of you, you're a recruit away. For others of you, you're 2 recruits away. But you know what? This is the season, this is a great season for people to join and have that holiday party before the 10th. But that means we're recruiting in the next 2 to 3 days, ASAP. So that power list of 5, you're working it, okay? I really believe that I know each of you are going to be amazing directors, and I know Director's Retreat is just, and Zoom is wonderful, but to be able to be sitting right across from each other at the table with all of our directors not even here as well, having a whole weekend together versus just an hour is going to be huge for your business and for us as we're developing even stronger relationships as a leadership team. So I really want you to push hard, and then registration will be $50 on January 12th. If you are going to be able to join us. The remainder will be due in March, and Director's Retreat is April 8th through the 10th with an optional day to stay until Monday morning, the 11th, if you would like. So I hope that you're each working towards it because we would love to have you. And I know each of you would be a great addition to our leadership team. So I just am really proud of you. You each were chosen for a reason, and it was not a mistake. And you each have made it through. And so I know I speak for all of us that we are just really proud of you. And as far as our Leading Ladies Facebook group goes, that is our director Facebook group. But during Leading Ladies, we open it up to be able to have a place for us to interact with you, for you to kind of get a sneak peek behind what we talk about or what we focus on. So, of course, we're going to be working on our assignments for the rest of this week, and then through the first week of December. So when you promote to senior consultant and you've completed Leading Ladies, you're welcome to stay on the page. If you're not quite at senior consultant yet, then we will welcome you back as soon as you promote to senior consultant. But I'll let you know when that is. So if there's files or things you want to save off the page beforehand, you can do that. So I think that's all I wanted to cover. Directors, is there anything else you wanted to share?
One challenge I gave Lessa, like I know you guys are going to be working on your homework this week, but I also told her to go and listen to every 31-minute call on Hostess Coaching. Just because there are some really good different ideas, and I think it'll really motivate you to hear someone. The people that are on those 31-minute calls are so like inspiring. I feel like they're just motivating to listen to those, and they're 30 minutes. So whether you're just driving down the street or whatever, but just to really hear what they have to say, because Hostess Coaching, I mean, they might be older phone calls, but it's timeless as far as, you know, reaching out to your friends or reaching out to your hostesses and getting to know them better. So I would recommend listening to every Hostess Coaching 31-minute call.
Awesome. And I know obviously this next week is Thanksgiving. We're going to be very busy. So I know you're going to have to be intentional and purposeful with working on your assignments. So, you know, let us know. Of course, we're flexible as well, but I really want you guys to finish strong. I don't want you to have gotten all this way and then it gets busy and you don't finish. I want you to finish strong, and we know you can do it. So, I think that's all I have. If anybody has any final questions or any comments or anything they want to share, feel free. But for the rest of you, I'm really proud of you. You've worked hard. It's hard. This has been hard work. You guys have a lot going on, and you have stuck with it. You have succeeded. You all have grown in your business, and so be very, very proud of yourselves. We are. Any questions or comments?
Of course, I always.
Jen, let's hear it.
No, in regards to retreat, because this kind of all culminates, you know, we're done with this in about a week, and then the point is to promote, right? The point is to have every person on the call that's not a director be a director, and to be at I was going to say conference, but that too, at retreat with us, because it's just an awesome experience. I mean, I know that we've talked about this before, but I just want to reiterate that it will change your business, just like conference changes your business, just like leading ladies changes your business. Retreat, absolutely. I mean, our director, Patty, she promoted like the next month or something after we went to retreat, right? It was crazy. She was just like, all of a sudden, she just thought, it just kind of changed the way she thought about it. And it really pushes you to, it's like leading ladies on steroids, but it's all at once, and you get to be like fellowshipping with everyone. And we just have this great relationship now. And so how awesome would it be to have all of us there? You know, we have to have all the rooms that we reserved, and that would be great. So really hope that everybody's there. Really, really.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. Anybody else? All right. Well, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. And yes, just like Jen said, this is a director training course. So we expect to see each of you as a director walking that stage this summer. And on that cue, look who's joined me out of the path. No, but I'm really, really thankful for each of you for trusting us with this process and putting it in. And your directors, we're here to finish this. It's not over and we're going to drop you. We're going to see you through this promotion. So proud of each of you. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll connect again next week and go over your week 6 assignments. Bye, girls.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.